Why do the Alpha 2.0 business model that I teach, where you make at least $85,000 a year location dependent? Why bother doing that? Why not start a traditional business and make hundreds of millions of dollars like Elon Musk? Why not just go crazy and build a giant company, and then in 25 years you can retire and you'll be wealthy? And why not do that, Caleb? I get that question a lot. I will answer it right now in this video. I am Caleb Jones. This is Sovereign CEO. I teach people just like you how to set up location-independent businesses that set you free so you can leave the country if you want, or at least set up an international backup plan and do all these things for very little money. One of the questions I get on a routine basis, I've gotten this question several times before, including on this YouTube channel, but I get them in my email, on my social media, my Facebook group. I'm all over the place, but I get this question a lot, and that is basically what I said. Caleb, why do you advocate starting a small business where you make only $85,000 a year? Now, you can make a lot more than that. I make a lot more than that. I'll cover that in a second. Why not build a big, giant company and be super successful and make hundreds of millions of dollars? Why not do that? That doesn't make any sense why you're offering this business model when you can make hundreds of millions of dollars like Alex Hormozi. Why not do that? Why not be like Elon Musk or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs didn't build an Alpha 2.0 business, Caleb. So why not be like that? Or another variation of the question is, why not follow the advice of guys like Robert Kiyosaki and build a big company? Or guys like Gary Vee, who I like, kind of. I like Robert Kiyosaki. I like Gary Vee, sort of. Or guys like Grant Cardone, where you have this big giant company with like 150 million employees, and then you have hundreds of millions of dollars and you're super rich and you can fly around private jets and, have a yacht like Dan Bilzerian and make it rain $100 bills on girls with big titties. Why not do that? Well, there are several reasons. Number one, there are different business models for different objectives. I teach the Alpha 2.0 business model, which is derived from my other company, Alpha Male 2.0. And that is a business where once you set it up, you're completely location dependent. You're making higher than average income, at least $85,000 a year or a lot more. I make a hell of a lot more than that through the Alpha 2.0 model. And it's a business that sets you free because you're location dependent. You don't have infrastructure. You don't have employees. You have help. You have a staff, but no employees. You only have to work a max of 30 hours a week, if that. And you can do whatever you want with your life because I teach long-term freedom, which creates long-term happiness. That's what I teach. If you want more specific information on exactly how to build a business like this, if that sounds interesting to you, you can go to locationibusiness.com. That is my primary online course, the Alpha 2.0 business course. And I show you step-by-step instructions on exactly how to design a business just like this, even if you've never started a business before. But that's the bottom line for me. I teach what will set you free. I teach what will make you free, and I will do it in a way where you can get from zero to the freedom as quickly as possible. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to blow your brains out for 25 years only to finally be free. I saw my dad do that. My dad built a traditional business. And to his credit, I have a lot of respect for my dad. He built it in the middle of a recession. He started in the late 70s. He worked it really hard for about 25, 30 years. He was able to retire as a self-made millionaire by the time he was old. And then he just retired. But he had to wait 25, 30 years to get to the point where he was free. Up until then, he was stressed out and pissed off. If you read biographies of guys like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, these aren't happy, chill, happy-go-lucky guys. These are angry guys who yell a lot, have a lot of drama, are pissed off all the time because of the lifestyle they live. Number one. Number two, I teach things, and I've said this forever, and this is true, in all of my companies where I sell things online to a wide audience. I have two of them, Alpha Male 2.0 and this one, Sovereign CEO. I teach things that are accomplishable by anyone watching this video. Anyone watching this video, given some time and effort, can build an Alpha 2.0 business where you're making $85,000 a year or more, completely location dependent, and once it's up and running, spending 30 hours a week or less to maintain that income. It is not something that can only be done by insane workaholics like Grant Cardone or geniuses like Bill Gates. The typical average person can do this. By the way, that also applies to my Alpha Male 2.0 content if you follow that. I don't teach anything in there that is only doable by super wealthy celebrities with ripped six-pack abs. I teach what is doable by the typical everyday guy as long as he's willing to put in a little work. And unfortunately, The ability to build a gigantic business, $200, $300, $500 million plus, is outside of the ability of most human beings. Maybe you individually can do it. Maybe you could. Maybe you can't. But I talk to a lot of people here, and I want to give advice that anyone can follow so they don't roll their eyes and say, well, it's easy for you, Caleb, but I could never do that. That's the dumbest thing that people say to me because I only teach advice that can be done by anybody. Now, why don't I teach the build a big company model? I will give you several reasons right now. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the build a big business model. I'm saying it is not a path to freedom, and it's certainly not a path to quick freedom. It's a path to something else. And I don't teach something else. I teach freedom here. That's why I'm here. I'm sitting here on my throne of freedom. That's why I'm here. So here are the reasons in no particular order I don't teach the build a big company lifestyle model. Reason number one, and this is in no particular order, like I said, you will have to wait a very, very, very long time to get to your freedom. If you start a traditional business with a traditional location with 100, 200, 300, 500 employees, you are going to have zero freedom and zero life for at least, if you're lucky, 20 years. You can basically write off the next 20 years that will be sucked up by your big business. If you don't believe me, look at all the success stories. Jeff Bezos, everybody. These are not guys who had a very balanced, freedom-loving life or a good relationship life or a good woman life or a good physical life while they built their empire when they were busting their ass for 20 years, getting from zero to the money, which took them a long, long time. I would rather you get to the freedom and the money within 2 to 4 years, which is what I teach in the Alpha 2.0 business model. You can start from zero and get to real freedom within 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 5 on the outside years. Anybody can do it. What sounds better to you, 2 to 5 years or 20 or 25 or longer? The question you have to ask yourself is freedom worth it in 25 years? Take your current age, all right? However old you are, take your age and add 25. And now let's say I told you, you have to bust your ass the next 25 years, but when you're that age, your age plus 25, you can then retire and be free. Does that sound compelling to you? Doesn't sound very compelling to me. And I've worked with a lot of people who follow that model. And they weren't exactly very happy at the end of those 25 years. They were old, they were fat, they were divorced, not good. Reason number two, I don't teach this model is you may never hit that goal. If your goal is to build a big traditional business, to make hundreds of millions of dollars, I got news for you. You may bust your ass for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, and never get the money. I've seen a lot of people follow that model as well. They chase the big dollars for their whole lives and they never get it. So it's not a guarantee. Just because you work hard does not mean you'll be rich. That's not how this works. You have to work hard and be very strategic, do certain things right, and you may not be able to do this, or you may do it and it may not work for reasons outside of your control. However, let's compare it to my model. What are the odds if you put in 15 hours a week or more over the next 2 to 5 years, you could build a location independent company that generates at least $85,000 a year? What are the odds? They're damn near 90%. The odds are very, very high, especially if you have my materials on how to pick a niche, how to choose a product, focusing on marketing, high margin items, things of that nature. The odds are very, very good with the model that I teach. The odds are quite small with the become the next Elon Musk model. Now, again, to be clear, if you really want to do that, if you want to take that kind of risk for the next 25 years of your life, don't let me stop you. I'm an individualism absolutist. Go ahead and do whatever you want. Don't listen to my content. Go with God. Have fun. I'm just telling you that I would never do that. I like freedom. And I like money to come sooner rather than later, but that's me. Reason number three, during that 20-year time frame or whatever time frame you want to say it is, maybe say, Caleb, it won't take 25 years. It'll only take 13. Whatever the number you think it'll take, whatever the severe number of years, your life outside of your business is probably going to suck. But this way it is. If you don't believe me, read the biographies or autobiographies of famous businessmen from decades past or even now, and they will confirm this. Your relationship life with women is probably going to suck ass. Your family life, if you ever have kids, is probably going to be pretty shitty. You're not going to be a very good dad. Your physical fitness life, you're either going to end up being fat or you're going to end up being a skinny, fat, beta-looking motherfucker. You're not going to be super, super healthy. I would remind you, where is Steve Jobs today? Oh, he's dead. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Not only are you not paying attention to your body and exercise and things like that as you get older, and as I've said, once you hit age 40, maintaining your physical health and your longevity and not becoming a total giant fat ass is almost like a part-time job. Not only are you not doing that, but the stress from the work that you're doing, these 14-hour days you're putting in, post age 40, post age 50, not good for your health at all. And I have even mentioned things like your spiritual life, your friends, your recreational life, your social life. Yeah, you'll have a private jet maybe in 20 years, but then what? You see my point? Reason number 4, and this is probably my personal biggest reason. Reason number 4 is you can scale an Alpha 2.0 business. You can do it. You can make, with my business model, the Alpha 2.0 business model, you can make $1 million a year. You can probably make $1.5 or $2 million a year. Once you hit about 1.5 or so, you may have to actually violate the business model in order to make the bigger money. But my point is, you can make huge money with the model that I teach. I say $85,000 as a minimum, not a maximum. It's a minimum. Trust me, I make a fuckload more than $85,000 a year. I make many multiples of that. Matter of fact, I make more money than most of you seem to think I make. I make a lot of money and I follow my own business model. Now, the day will probably come, matter of fact, the day has probably come already, where I have to make a decision on whether I want to violate that model because I'm making so much money. But that's up to me. My point is, you can get to 6 figures, high 6 figures, 7 figures following my business model. You don't need to hire 287 employees to get to big income numbers. I am an example of that. All the mentors that I follow are examples of this. You can make big money with a very small, quote unquote, low overhead, low infrastructure company. You can. It's perfectly doable. We talk about this in great detail in my coaching programs like the 6-Figure Warrior Mentorship and the SMIC program. This is a very doable thing. For some reason, some guys seem to think that it's a binary choice between make only $85,000 a year location dependent through Caleb's model or be the next Elon Musk. Oh no, that's not the case at all. Trust me, again, I don't make $85,000 a year. I make a fuckload more than that. Reason number 5, this is another big reason, and that is once you get through the 25 years or 20 years or however long it takes, and you do succeed, and now you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, or maybe you're even a billionaire. Congratulations, that's fantastic. The odds are high you still won't be free. I've had people ask me, Caleb, would you rather live your lifestyle or would you rather be Mark Zuckerberg? Wouldn't you rather be Mark Zuckerberg? No! Are you fucking kidding? Married to that woman? Running that company? Are you? No! I live a much better life by just about every metric except my net worth than Mark Zuckerberg. I have far more freedom day to day than Mark Zuckerberg will ever have for the rest of his life. That goes for many successful billionaires, including Elon Musk, including maybe even Bill Gates, although Bill Gates seems to be doing what he wants. Maybe that's not a good example. But the odds are decent that even if you hit your goal of kabillions of dollars, you still won't be free. You'll probably locked into a traditional relationship with a woman, or you'll be single and wanting a woman. I have personally coached, let me make an aside on that. I have personally coached men who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars who could not find a girlfriend. And these are guys who are 30s and 40s who look decent. They're not fat or anything. You may think that's insane, but it's true. Rich guys have a lot of problems getting laid, or maybe not getting laid. They have problems finding serious relationships as much or worse than guys who are poor or middle class. The reasons are just very different. But believe me, it's not like you're guaranteed freedom just because you make a lot of money. And that's a big takeaway from this video. Just because you make a lot of money or just because you have an insanely high net worth does not mean you are free. In my consulting practice, I have consulted with and coached men who are far wealthier than me who had maybe 5% of the freedom that I experience on a daily and weekly basis in my life. It's not even close. Yes, they have the money. Yes, their financial statements look really goddamn good. But in terms of their day-to-day life, they are not free. Their business owns them, or their mom owns them, or their girlfriend or wife, in many cases, own them. They don't own themselves. Unlike me, I own myself. And I want you to own yourself. And that's what the Alpha 2.0 business model can facilitate. And again, I'm going to say this one more time. If you really want to take these risks, Go with God, go ahead and do it. I wouldn't. I prefer you be free. I prefer you be location dependent. Certainly now, as we are in the middle of Western collapse, it's a much better idea to follow my business model than the standard business model of the 1950s. I'm the CEO of the big company. If you want more specifics on how you can scale an Alpha 2.0 business for the big money, watch this video right now, and I'll see you there.